All right, what's up, guys? We're kicking off 5 tables right now. We're going to try and get up to 6 or 7. We got a 2-5 happening down here, bottom right. We just got screwed with top pair, but he put it all in with a flush draw and got there. Fives here is typically a fold, but because this girl just doubled up off me, Nash or whoever it is, guy, I am going to call in position and just try to play more hands versus a weak opponent in position. I think is fine. And probably gonna end up giving his stack away on this hand. Something tells me. Yeah, look, here we go. Extra gloves, gets it in. No call yet? Oh, there we go. Oh, he does have aces. Alright, doubles up twice. Not a bad start for that guy. See if I can get more tables up here. Two five down here. I'm really just going to be playing super tight against anybody with a red label or a white label, and then anyone with a green label, I'll be a little more inclined to enter into pots with them. Let's see what this last hand was here. I was going to show you. So the hand right before folding. So this hand here, limp called, obviously a fish. We isolated with Jack 10, flop top pair, bet, shoves, we call. He ends up getting there on the river. And then there was another hand that happened right before we started. I think it was over here with extra gloves where he got lucky. I think we got kings in pre. Yeah, right here. So yeah, we get. He opens, we 3-bet, he reshoves, and we call. Obviously, he has 9s. We win the first run out, and then he wins the second run out. So already not off to a great start. Get our money in good twice, and we don't win anything. We lose one, and we don't win anything on the other. So the run good is right around the corner. I know it is. Again, like, this guy's a super net. Actually, I'm going to label him purple because the purple guys are insanely tight. Initially, they were labeled red, but, like, some of these guys are so tight, it doesn't even make sense to play a hand against them. They're just not going to give you any action back without having it. And honestly, I just think it's a better strategy long term to just completely avoid them. I wouldn't even be surprised if some of these guys were bots. Who knows? You never know. They just have it every single time. Ace Jack suit will open up under the bottom right, under the gun +1. We get min raised by this guy. It's usually a sign of a lot of strength, and now we're just going to be folding on that. A 6 table going here. Ace queen open. Flop and ace this time, heads up versus player. I'm going to check call here 1. If he checks back flop, I will be leading turn, but he does bet, so we're going to go into a check call mode. He bets again. We lose to all 2 pairs. We lose the sets. I'm just going to be calling. He may have rivered like an ace-2 pair that's better some of the time. I think we're good when he checks. Yeah. We could blocker bet river. Blocker value bet, small. But we don't want to get blown off our hand either. In hindsight, I think I kind of wish I did blocker value versus this guy. Versus a solid regular, I think that they'll be smart enough to recognize the weakness on that river and blow me off my hand, but I don't think this guy is. So in hindsight, I wish I did value blocker bet that river. Playing heads up here against a heel, who I've labeled as not a strong player, but he is, the more I watch him, starting to get a little bit better. I may have to change his green label because he hasn't. I guess initially when I labeled him, he was making a lot of questionable plays, but as of late, I haven't seen too much of that, to be honest. Pick up queens here now, and he just snap folds. Check back with 6s. We have showdown value. We nail a set on the turn, but he's going to have a flush some of the time, so I don't think there's a point in raising just yet. If he thinks he has the best hand or if he's bluffing, he's going to continue betting on the river. Obviously, a heart on the river is no good, but we just want to keep his range weak and then bet on the river. I'm going to overbet this river. I think a king can call us. And also, if he reships on us, we can make an easy fold. Folding the ace-5 here versus that guy. Out of position. We turn the ace here. We're just going to be calling now. If he's got a king, so be it. And now I want to bet small enough that like a pair of 8s calls or something. Maybe a 7. A pair of 9s. Close enough. So we get an extra bet out of him. And okay. Get rid of this table because nothing's happening here. Put this one over here. Well, I guess we can just do this now. And then put this down here. There we go. One and done here at the ace king. We have 2 overs, backdoor straight draws, both ends, on the low end and on the high end that we could hit. 6 here, I'll just check back. We have showdown value. We're not getting called by worse. Kings here, we're going to raise fairly big versus ultimate, who we have as a somewhat weak player. This guy just calls. Put a king of hearts on the flop, please. And if this guy reships, obviously we snap call. They put an ace on the flop. Standard, bro. Standard bullshit. We're just going to bet 1 and then fold to a shove. Snap folding to a shove there. Like, he's never got anything other than an ace. Just super lucky. Highly annoying. We could check back too, but then we're basically going into call bluff mode. So he's going to bet that turn, then he's probably going to shove river. Plus, we can still have a lot of aces ourselves. Really annoying that an ace has to come, excuse me, every time. You have kings. I'm assuming David has ace high here. Just gonna fold. And we get called with the spade. I'm gonna put in an over bet here, and 4 bet down here, and I'm gonna be calling off a shove versus ultimate. He's gonna have queens. He's gonna have jacks. He's gonna have some ace queens. He has kings. Let's go ace ball. Our turn for the ace. Wow, he just flops a super full house. Amazing how good these guys run. Ace. Diamond. Ace. Diamond. And we lose both. Nice. That was a $500 hand. Just ace king versus kings in a blind battle. Nothing to see here. And here we have the best king, more likely than not. I think if he's got a set of 9s, he's going to just put it in on this turn. But I think a king jack will continue to call. Crazy how on this first run out, he just nails the only king left in the deck, but I can't hit 1 ace and 2 run outs. Makes sense of that. Makes sense of that. I don't understand how on GG this is how we run every single time. It's wild. Ace queen will just complete. No pair. 4 betting here with kings. We're happy to get kings in pre-flop. And an ace comes right away. We're going to be c-betting that. Call 1 here. C-bet one more time. We'll be folding any resistance. King on the river. He's still going to have like queens, jacks, 10s that'll call 1 there. And I don't want to give him an opportunity to blow me off my hand. Plus we can still get called by worse. Stuck 700 currently in this session. Just given this one hand here at the 2-5. Crying babies in the background. In case it was hard enough to focus on 6 tables at once, as it is, we got crying babies in the background. Don't worry, my wife is taking care of it. So I don't just neglect my child, in case anyone's wondering. Ace 10 cutoff is an open here. Well, we weren't sure about ultimate, but I think now we know exactly what he's got, or what kind of a player he is, rather. Very annoying. Again, I'm going to isolate Nash with Jack 10. We did the same thing last time. They got the better of us when they rivered the flush. He's Queen of Diamonds. No action. No action. Here we flop middle pair. With a 10 high flush draw, that's probably good. And if he doesn't have an ace, we just win right away. So I'm going to bet once. See if we can get more tables up. We'll get a middle table here. Hope this is not too ugly for you guys. I'll move it out of the way when we're in an actual hand, but I'm trying to get spots quicker for you guys. So like there's just dead time right now, right? We're not in one hand somehow on 7 tables. Make that make sense. Against all odds. This is kind of like a middle position open. I'm going to isolate here with King Queen. Try to get this hand heads up. Take that down. For anybody new watching, isolate basically just means 3-bet an opener and try to get the hand heads up. If you call, you invite other people in. You invite squeeze plays in. Oh, this is Omaha. Okay, fold. I think we just call here. This guy's a net. Orange means good player, but we've seen them do like questionable things that aren't necessarily like GTO or like, for example, like this guy will just shove the nuts when he has it all in. He'll shove all in like a 10 big blind pot. So when guys do stuff like that, I label them orange. So the turn kind of makes us stuck, but our perceived range nails this turn. So for him to, if he decides to continue betting here, it's very scary. I'm hoping for a check. And he does check, and we turn. I'm assuming the nuts, unless he's got Queen 10, which is very difficult. And I think just bet now. I think he's gonna fold a lot. He can have aces, he can have kings, he can have a set of jacks. That would definitely be stuck calling, I think. Jacks would be stuck calling. I think aces can get away. I think queens can get away. Kings can get away. Not a good flop for 9s, but he just flatted, so he's going to have jacks and he's going to have 10s and stuff. So I can fold that out with a really small bet here. So I'm just going to do that. And he does fold. Checking back the ace queen. We're not getting we're not getting called by worse if we bet here. Maybe queen jack suited. Unlikely though. And now we lose pretty much everything that calls a 3-bet other than pocket 8s. Deuce 4. What happened there? I don't know what happened there. Can't remember what happened, what that action was. He was big blind? Oh, he just called out of the big blind. Okay. Never mind. So we're up almost 200 here. We're down 500 up here. Ace 9 suited, we call out of the big blind. Flop top pair. Initial razor checks. And button, how dare you bet? You do not bet, that's what I thought. And now I think we just bet to get called by a jack. So he'll calls. And I wonder what he's checking flop there with. Like he can certainly have, I guess, a better ace than us, but I think now I don't feel like we're good, so I'm just gonna blocker value bet. Hope I get called by just a jack, and if he raises, we fold. Could have a better ace. He has a weaker ace, so we take that down. Get max value there. Magnanimity, who seems is like a loose-ish player. This is a dangerous board, or it can get dangerous, but I have top pair good kicker, and we have a diamond to somewhat protect us from flush draws. I am going to just bet here turn and try to get it in by... Sorry, bet here flop and try to get it in by turn. He's going to have king queen and stuff as well. That might put it in here. Planet Hack just shoves. We fold. Queens. And he calls. Do I check here is the question. We are somewhat protected by flush draws, but I think, again, king queen with the king of diamonds possible. Those are all still calling. I'm just going to put it in. He could certainly have us beat, but I like to play our hand this way for protection against any kind of like queen 10, 9, jack 9 type hand. Same hand, and we got the redraw, baby. Put a diamond out there for the kids. Diamond for the kids. Feel it this time. Diamond. I felt it. I felt it. Let's go. Sorry, fella. Sorry, fella. We get that one through. I'm going to call one here with the queens. So timing out everywhere. Oh, queen. No. Fold. Going to call two with the queens. And going to be folding to this river bet if he bets. He's a fish, though, so you could certainly have nothing. Magnanimity can't be very happy with that hand. Folding now. Tempted to call, though. God, so small. Okay, I'm calling. Small. It's small. And we do win. Not big enough. That's what she said. We got a caller on line 1 out of the big blind, which almost always is ace queen or like a middling pair, and the fact that he's just betting into us now makes me think that it's ace queen, so I'm just gonna fold. And here we flop a set versus this weak player bet. Here we're gonna bet. We have middle pair for protection, and we have a gutter for the straight. Mike, the fact that he calls tells us that we are immediately beat. Mike is a good player. I'm going to size up smaller here with the queens. Get rid of this Omaha table for a second. I'm going to check call here now. Folding up here, top left. No thanks. Not against Mike. Block betting this turn. We block king queen. He checked back. The fact that he checked back tells me he could have king jack. He could have king 10. No, not king 10. I don't think. Could be ace 10. He hammers. But we block the nuts. Could be ace king. Could be a pocket 10s. It looks like it could be pocket 10s or pocket 9s, and he's putting us on like ace king or something. So I'm just going to fold. I mean, he's betting into our range there, right? Like, there's a king on board. We have more of those. The fact that he's hammering into us looks pretty strong on his part. I moved the Omaha table to the other screen here for a moment, but I'll bring it back over when there's a hand that's interesting. We're gonna make this video a little bit longer than usual, so we're gonna go for an hour. We'll stop this at 10. Right now it's 9:30. We've been, I think, going for half an hour already. Get that one through. 3-bet takes it down. Queen jack suited open. Gonna be calling a 3-bet here from Magnanimity. He's 3-betting super light against us in general. Queen Jack suited is a decent hand as well, so we'll start by calling. It's not a bad flop. Spade turn for the super extra equity, please, would be nice. Start with a call. The 10 is more us than it is him. Well, he can certainly have some 10s as well. If he checks back here, I'll probably lead bluff river. Tempted to go for a check shove here. Tempted to go for a check shove here. I think we do. I think we do go for it. We went for it. Obviously if he has a 10, he's not folding. And it looks like he does have a decent hand. It does work. The 10's on the river, so he knows that we didn't have a 10 now. Woo! Get that bluff through. Here's a decent spot here in the Omaha table. We 3-bet pre, he called. This is our flop. We have top 2. We're just getting this in. We have a straight draw as well. I think we lose the first. Wait, do we? We win both. All right, send that. Another drag a $200 pot there. So versus Magnanimity, like because he's 3-betting so much wider, like I don't mind taking a bluff spot there where I did. He's just gonna have air a lot. He's gonna have the same hand as me. He's gonna have king queen of clubs, stuff like that. And then even if he's got an overpair, I put him in a world of hurt with that reshove. So yeah, and like even if he hero calls with like 2 9s or something. I can't remember exactly what the board was, but a pair that wasn't a full house, for example, if you even hero calls with that, we still have decent equity versus it. We have 2 overs and an open ender. So we get a little bit of our money back there, about 200 bucks. $10-8 here, we're going for a blocker value bet. There's a flush out there. Here we have an open ender with the ace overcard. I'm gonna raise fairly big here, try and get a fold, but we have decent equity even if he calls, and we do get the fold. If he reshoves, obviously we fold, but I think he's gonna have a lot of garbage there, and we block the straight as it is. So nice little power play. All right, we're starting to get some good spots here for you guys. Again, we're isolating this player here, limping. Like, come on, man. Read a book. Read a book, for God's sake. Muhammad's the most common name in the world. That is a super bad reference, by the way, for those of you who don't know. 9-10, I'm going to check back here against Mike. Just try to keep his range weak. This guy's just, like, he's a good player. Again, I don't like playing against good players. I just want to get the showdown as cheap as possible. I will call one, though. Check. Check, check. And, like, you'll see here, even if he bets here, like, he bets. somehow I feel like we're beat, but we're checking to call, right? We're checking to keep the pot small and to call, and we do end up taking that down. I think we got an extra 2 out of him because if we bet, he probably just folds. Probably just folds that flop if we bet. So we made an extra 2 big blinds. Which almost pays for our next round of cards. Next orbit, rather. We had a nice ugly photo of ourselves here. We still have it on stars. There it is. Nice and ugly. We want to try and tilt our opponents as much as possible. When they look at that face, you know, it's just probably anger just comes over you and you want to put your money in bad. Over here, we switched it up in GG. We have like a boat that's basically sinking that says no worries. Relevant to our Jiminy ship name. Crying babies. Crying babies. So fun, let me tell you. If you thought you were upset about losing a hand or getting run out on, just try doing it with a wailing baby in the background for no reason. It's not easy. I promise you that. Fold, 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 fold. GG Masters comes along in, who's a super ultra omega nit, probably the biggest nit on this website. His calling range consists of ace queen suited, which we block, ace kings 4 betting, and then all jet pocket jacks, pocket tens, which means we're probably losing his everything. I doubt he's got ace queen suited because we block the hell out of it. Which makes that possibly the worst flop that 2 queens can have, and then he just comes out betting. So we will start with a call. Probably calling one more here and then folding to his river shove. And he checks back. I don't know what that can be. I mean, I guess it could be... We block king queen suited too. Just don't know what that can be. I don't know. I feel like he's going for a trap here, so I'm just going to check call again now. I don't feel like we're good. He does check. It is ace queen. So, I mean, I'd be going for value there if we didn't block ace queen. The only hands he can have there are ace queen suited because ace king 4 bets. And, yeah, the other hands that call have us beat. Flop a set here. And we get action from Sahil. This guy's a fish with no stack at all. Tens here. I'm going to just overbet this all in. Again, just... I mean, he could have a flush draw, but so be it. I'd rather pull him in with an ace, which he didn't have. Tempted to call the ace high here, but I'm losing to like pocket 4s, pocket 5s, pocket 7s maybe. I'm still going to call. He has a 3. Okay, that wins 2. Sorry, a 6 and a 3 obviously wins as well. I just didn't think he had any of those. Magnanimity 6-4. We nail it. I have this theory about flopping straights. When you flop a straight, your hand can't get any better, but it can definitely get worse. So I always like to just pile it in when that happens. I don't think we get any action here. Yeah, he just folds. But we do have to start trying to build the pot. Ace King. I'm just going to go small enough of a raise here to Try to keep hands like ace queen and ace jack in versus venomous. I don't want ace queen and ace jack to fold. We lose to middling pairs like 9s through 10s, but we're going to find out right now if he's got that. And if he does, we can still have aces, we can still have kings, and we still have 2 overs, even if he does have queens, jacks, 10s. We still have 2 overs to that. We have a backdoor straight draw. And because we raise so small, he can still have ace, jack, ace, queen, so we fold all those out. And we end up having the side pot here that was locked down, and we have this guy dominated. 80% favorite. No, the pot's not big enough for me to run it twice, but good luck. Hope you nail a 7. And you do. King on the riv. Nope. Congratulations. You need a win, and you got one. Need a win. All right, here in the Omaha table, we raised and got called. Blockering this king, queen, bottom right. Ace, queen here, we're betting out of the big blind. Here we're betting with the nut queen. He's going to have weaker queens. He's going to have flush draws that might put their money in here. Okay, we take that down. Ace queen here, we're 3-betting out of the big blind versus a button open. We get called. He's going to have a weaker range generally. We have ace king and we block the king. We block some straight draw opportunities. We have a straight draw ourselves. We could hit a 4. I'm going to just continue betting. He does call. I think he's almost always got a flush draw here. So I'm just going to continue betting to charge that flush draw. And we take that down. Especially when the 2 pairs, less likely that he's got a set. It's less likely he's got 2 pair because we have a pair as well. So yeah, I'm just happy to bet there again to charge flush draws, potential straight draws. Mikey G, we have Jack 10 of diamonds. We're just going to call out of the small blind and now fold. I don't like flatting out of the small blind ever. It's almost always a 3-bet or a fold. I know I've mentioned that a couple times. I'm going to call one here, bottom left. But versus under the gun open is very strong. So I will mix in some flats in those spots with like ace queens, middling type pairs. And that's probably the only time I'll call out of the small blind. Folding. Checking. We have ace high showdown value. Raising king 3 suited. Overbetting my 10s here with the king against 2 opponents with a straight draw and flush draw potential out there. Their range is going to consist of a lot of 7-3s, 7-8s, stuff like that. And a 10 is a super vulnerable hand. So I don't mind putting in an overbet there. 10's vulnerable because like any overcard can come, which makes it not good. Any heart can come, and then any other straight cards that can come. I'd rather just overbet there, get called potentially by weaker 10s, and charge all the flush and straight draws. Also, it freezes people, right? Even if they don't have... I mean, even if they have like an ace 10, for example, it freezes them. Like they're like not sure if their ace 10 is good, and gives me an opportunity when I overbet there to potentially turn my hand into a bluff on later streets. I've been 3-betting venomous. Was it venomous? It wasn't venomous. So I am going to 3-bet venomous. It was the other guy that I was thinking of, but he's gone now. So. If it was him, I would have just called. We flop flush draw. I'm going to bet out big here. We block king queen. We have a queen in our hand. We have ace king in our range. We have king queen in our range, and we're just gonna combine that perceived range with our flush draw. If he calls, it is possible that he has got king jack. He could have 2 8s. He could have 2 7s. But we do take that down. We would have turned the nut flush anyway. I'll mix up my sizing there with a 3/4 pot and a 1/3. So I'm always bouncing back and forth. I'm not really tailoring it to a flop. I'm literally just bouncing back and forth between betting 1/3 or 3/4 pot. And what that does is it allows some of my bluffs to get through cheaper some of the time, and allows me to get paid more some of the time when I have it. And then when I'm bluffing, sometimes, you know, it's the opposite. Like it flip-flops. It makes me very difficult to play against because it's tough to develop a read. One overcard with a flush draw. We're going to be betting here. If we get called by David, we're just going to be checking back. Try to realize our equity. The jack's a horrible card because whatever calls a 3/4 size bet is going to consist a lot of jacks. We beat hands like 10-8 and queen 10 and stuff like that still too. So I don't mind checking back. And if we hit a heart, we can get it called by a jack, but not queen jack, not jack 9. Those beat us. And I think here when he checks to us, like a jack should be checking here 100%. He blocker bets. And I am going to raise fold this. So I'm going to raise, and then if he re-raises, I'm going to be folding. AC here at the Omaha table. Top 2. And he does call. And he has somehow a higher flush, if you can make sense of that. I don't understand how it's possible, but these guys always have it. This is what I mean. Like anyone labeled red, just don't even bother. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. They're not putting their money in weak against you. And our 3-betting king here, Magnanimity, comes in again with a raise. And the ace high board, we're just getting the hell out of there. Yeah, very frustrating. Flush over flush scenario. With a king high flush. How do you have the ace high flush? Outrageous. Outrageous. Let's just see how he played that. So he called the flop, no raise, check went, turn went check check, and then he led small turn. We raised and he just called. So interesting. Such a passive way to play the nut flush draw, you know? Very, very passive. I'm going to blocker the ace 10 here. The king here I'm going to bet now. We get called by an ace. So I'm just going to bet. We lose to better kings. And we just check back on the Omaha table here with our aces, and we rivered an ace. And we only lose the 8-6, but we have an 8 in our hand, so we block that. So I'm just going to pot it. And he folds. One and done here with the 7s. If he doesn't have an ace or a jack, we win. And we can get hands that are better than us to fold, like pocket 8s through 9s. Any kind of Broadway, perhaps. King 10. Suited, stuff like that. 2 pair here. 10s here versus Magnanimity. I'm gonna put in a 4-bet, call off. He's just 3-betting often. This one feels real though. Nope, guess not. Good thing, because if we just flatter here and then the two overcards come, that's the thing about 10s. Like, it's a mix. It's a mix between flatting with 10s and 4-betting. It really depends on the frequency of your opponent's 3-bet. If he's 3-betting a lot, your 10s becomes a 4-bet more often. And if he's not 3-betting so much, your tens becomes a flat. And if he's never 3-betting, let's say his 3-bet percentage is like between 0 and 5. That means he's only 3-betting pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, and ace king. So, little knowledge for you. I'm going to check here and then start betting on the turn. He's going to have some 1 diamond type hands, maybe even with a pair. That'll call. He's going to have some kings that'll call 1. And the question is now, what calls that missed? Do we go for a check to try and induce a bluff? Or do we try to target a king? I think we go for a check to try to induce a bluff by some missed diamonds. He does check back. Let's see what he had. And he did have just a jack-high diamond. So we played that perfect. We checked him and gave him the opportunity to bluff at least. Because if we just bet that river, he's folding, clearly. The fact that we checked him gives him an opportunity to bluff for us to make a little bit extra money. Folding the 7-5. No, thank you. No, thank you. Jack 10, I'll call here. Try to invite in the big blind. Magnanimity. So tough to say that. Magnanimity. Magnanimity. Call, and then I'll call. Call. 7. All right, we got one caller. Big J boy, he might shove here because he's so short. No, I think I'll still call here with 9-10 of hearts. I think so. And now we're in trouble. Now we're in trouble. Okay, he checks. That's good. Matei can have a middling pair, and now we have a flush draw to go with our top pair. I'm going to bet super small here. I can still call a raise. But I protect my hand versus like ace queens, ace kings, ace jacks. I don't know how ace king... So like this makes me feel like I'm beat when he just flats here. And we river the flush, but what's flatting there? Like what's not betting flop there, and then what's flatting there? Like a lot of, I mean, he could have 2 queens, that beats us, and he can still have a lot of flush draws himself that are higher than ours. So I hope it's not another flush over flush spot, but I am going to go for a check call here. He does check back. It's king. So queens was in his range for sure. He did check that flop. Interesting. Lets us get there. Could have probably got another small bet on the river, but I don't know. I think it's important to balance some checks in there. Just given the fact that it's the queen of hearts specifically, like, and there was a paired board. He's gonna have some full houses. He's gonna have some higher flushes. I don't know. I don't know what the right decision is there, to be honest. I'd rather not have to fold another flush, though. I'd rather just go into check call mode. He might even have, like, he might even be calling that turn with just the ace of hearts or the king of hearts. Ace king with the ace of hearts or the king of hearts. And then he might decide to go for a bluff on that river when we check to him. So, yeah, I think we'll just call here. 3s is a fold. We would have nailed the set. Damn it. I always click that the rabbit cam, but I wish I didn't. Calling. Decided to go with it here with the aces. We were good on the turn, but he rivered us. So, good job. We were 70% on the turn when the money got in. He just rivered us for a $200 stack. So, thanks for that, poker gods. We have 5 minutes left in this video. We'll wrap it up. Tempted to peel here. It's definitely coming. No. Out of position. He's a short stack, so even if we make our hand, we're not making very much. Just fold. So I think somehow we managed to pull out a profit from this session. We are up roughly 200 here. We're up roughly 200 here. And we're up roughly 200 here. We're up a little bit over here as well. And we made 100 back over here. So I think we're up slightly now after losing that $500 all in. I think we are slightly up. I'm going to bet small here. Be checking back this turn. It's pretty dry. The only thing that really calls us is a 6. And if he leads in us, we'll be calling river. And if he checks to us, we can consider a value bet. He bets here. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is not good, but we have a king and we check back turn, so we can do some bluffs. He does have a 6 and an 8. Good check back turn, right? We lose the minimum. Go fuck yourself. It's amazing how much a small pot like that, even though we lost the minimum, still can irk the fuck out of you. Magnanimity will give him a taste of his own medicine with the 3-bet. Folding 6-7 here. Are you 4-betting me, kind sir? Are you 4-betting me? Yes, you are. Take it. So angry. So angry. All right. I think that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like, follow, share, subscribe. If you've got a poker buddy who you want to get into poker who's not very good, send him my videos. Send him my videos. These might help him. Might help him or her get into poker a little bit more, right? I mean, it's hard to like poker when you're not good at it. But people tend to like things they're good at, right? So please, yeah, like, follow, share, comment. If I played a hand shit, tell me. If you think I played a shit, tell me why. Show your work, though. Don't just talk shit. I mean, listen, you're welcome to talk shit. I welcome that. But yeah, show your work if you're gonna tell me to play a hand differently. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys later. We're gonna finish this hand bottom right, actually. All of a sudden, we're picking up hands. He bets. Okay, we're getting pot odds to make a call here. So club me. Thank you. Hard to hit a flush draw. Hard to hit a flush draw. All right. That'll be it. Take care, guys.